Hi, James.
Good afternoon, Caroline.
Hi, how are you?
Let me turn my camera on. Are you at home?
I am at home right now.
Are you okay?
Uh, I'm not feeling great this morning, so then I just decided to stay home this morning, but I'm starting to feel better, so I'm gonna go in to the jail this afternoon.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you okay with everything? I'm just
Yeah,
quite okay.
yeah.
Hmm. How about morning sick? How about that?
It's just I will be very glad to be done with this.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. I have medication, but it's still not totally it's like it helps a bit, but still not totally rid of it. So
That's something we will never understand, man. We don't understand.
yeah,
Yeah. Sometimes there are people, group of people, men, husbands, say that they understand. But I guess I will never understand. Yeah. Anyway, I'm
yeah.
sending you my thoughts and prayer for your difficult time
Thank you.
and hoping
Yeah.
that you can make your time at prison. And I see that based on your, yeah, I don't feel good either. I think I'm under the
Oh,
weather this week.
yeah. Oh,
Uh, you have a tool for 204 hours.
yeah.
Yeah. The passing hour is 260, so 60
Yeah.
more hours to go.
Yeah, I think I will be able to do it. It's just, you know, see how it goes week to week, but it should get better soon. I'm like, this is finite. It will end. It will get better. So,
Okay. I
yeah,
believe that.
yeah,
How was your CPE wrapping up? You have a final evaluation and book discussion this week.
yes.
Everything good?
Yeah, I, the book discussion I'm looking forward to, I think I am um, ready for that, or almost ready. I have it halfway prepared right now. For the final evaluation, what do we need to do? I haven't had a close look at that yet.
In the student handbook, there
Okay.
is
Okay.
a lot of portion explained right there. You can
Mm-hmm.
look it up.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I'm
mostly
looking into
people
that.
based on it's a lot
Mm-hmm.
because it will stay with the ACPE.
Yep.
So I want all of you put some hours and meaning there.
Mm-hmm.
And that final evaluation you wrote will pass it to next educator. So next
Mm-hmm.
educator will read it. And
Mm-hmm.
even since you're looking for professional chaplaincy,
Mm-hmm.
BCC committee will ask your final evaluation as well.
Okay.
So
That's
you need
good
to
to know.
put really meaning there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Couple of weeks,
Yeah.
2 more weeks, and it will be done.
It's crazy how fast
So fast. We started in
it's going.
January.
Yeah. Um, and though I guess I have till the end of May for time, but with for clinical hours, but the that's it's kind of wild to think that class time is
Yeah.
coming to an end so quickly. Yeah.
Looks like a half of year.
Yeah.
2026 is
So fast.
I
Yeah.
can't imagine. I can't imagine
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
like that. Do you take a break? I bet you will take a break with your seminary and CPE and
Yeah.
focus on your raising your baby.
I will resume classes. I'll probably take a couple classes this summer. Um, and
Fuller,
then
Fuller
yeah,
Seminary.
yeah. And then I'll take off the fall and then start again in January. But class is more flexible time at least. Like I can do homework, you know, when Nathan is asleep or whatever. It's just more flexible. So
Mm.
Um, but yeah, so yeah, just continuing to chip away.
Yeah, chip away. I
Yeah,
agree.
yeah, yeah.
How was the
Um,
CPE to you? All like a couple months.
Really, I mean, I just see it as so precious to have this because I think without the CPE process, I don't think I'd have as much meaning or reflection from the clinical hours. Like I do think it's really provided me, like in the classroom space, a chance to learn from my peers, reflect, get their feedback. Their feedback is so precious, you know, more intentional than even like, sometimes I talk to my supervisors at work and I'm like, oh, I had this conversation, blah, blah. They don't have the time to, you know,
Mm.
be
Hmm.
like, well, interesting. Why did you say this? Like it's mostly like, okay, good job. Um, and so I just so value having my peers' feedback and your feedback. That's been so valuable to me. And then having things that I then take with me to think about, you know. And there's so many things. I still feel very beginner where it's like, oh, I can only think about maybe two things at a time if I'm, you know, meeting someone. But I think just even the idea of, oh, if something really hooks on to me, why? You
Mm.
know, like if
Hmm.
I'm like, oh, I'm having a really strong reaction to this person, why? Just to
Mm.
be able to start asking those questions
Hmm.
has been really valuable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I I see that's your strength too. You just immediately you're asking why.
yeah,
Yeah,
always,
yeah,
always ask.
it's in your body and mind.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
And it's funny. Nathan asks a lot of why questions.
Oh,
I'm
it's
like, he's infected. I've infected him with it, but it's very funny. Yeah. So,
yeah.
um, so yeah, I just cannot imagine like if I did hours at the jail without CPE component. I think it would lose a lot of richness that I've had. So I'm
Mm.
grateful for that. And then also just the diversity of our class and the different backgrounds, like getting a little bit of a peek into what it's like to work at a hospital or, you know, um,
Hmm.
hearing different people's situations and sort of the different ways people would respond. Like it's so interesting to have an environment where we can be like, oh, let's explore,
Hmm.
you know.
Hmm.
So
Our group is very unique. It's a rare group. We have a completely different dynamics,
yeah,
diversity, and different settings. So as you said, this is a great place to learn about
yeah,
human being.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think you have created an atmosphere, like a classroom where I think the intention is to explore.
Hmm.
And I don't feel like you're like, oh, there's one right answer that I'm waiting for you guys to figure out. Like we just never have that mood. Like the mood is let's explore this together, you know. But at the same time, like there's real feedback. So that's, it's not it's concrete. I feel like I walk away from every verbatim being like, okay, I have like some concrete things I can think about next time.
Hmm. Glad to hear that you learn those things. And
Yeah.
I hear from you that CPE is really helping you for your jail ministry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
that is what it is, CPE. Even
Yeah.
thinking about counter transference, what happening, why.
Yeah.
So it's good. You did great job too. You are asking very critical questions. I think you are the only one. Keep seeing things. Not anybody is seeing things. So I appreciate your critical thinking questions to
Yeah.
people and raising questions. Very thoughtful. That is your gift.
Hmm. Thank you,
And
James.
yeah, well using in CPE in the future, wherever you go, taking CPE somewhere,
Mm.
keep explore your gift and appreciate your presence here too.
Hmm.
And even, your baby will be my first baby CPE
Pee
student.
baby. Yes, participating, learning already.
Yeah, I think your
Yeah.
baby should have some certificate, CPE.
Hanging in
So
there
yeah,
for some CPE classes. Yeah. That's funny.
so there was a great journey with you and very a
Yeah.
meaningful journey with you. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's helped me also just like, I don't know. I think I was thinking like when I was writing this week's weekly reflection, the weekly reflections have made me more honest,
Hmm. Hmm.
you know? Like I think it's provided me a space which I don't know that I would have known to create for myself to be like, okay, how do I actually feel? Like what am I actually wrestling with here? Like this guy, who is the same guy that I brought
Yeah.
to the third verbatim, right? Like that,
GA.
yeah, like just he is such a stark example to me of the more of I think the spiritual struggle that people can go through when they're in this
Hmm.
really hard place. And said, as I said, like I both feel kind of useless in that,
Hmm.
like I'm like I have no, I am not going to be the person who's going to give you hope. Like I cannot. Like this is something he has to figure out.
Hmm.
But also, I feel so like the chaplain is so vital in this space for someone like him because there is nobody else he has
Hmm.
to wrestle these things with who will give him the space to say these things, which are very
Hmm.
raw about him being sinful and how does he deal with that sin and how does God deal with it and how does the world deal with it. And I'm like, truly, like, I don't think there's any other role in this jail setting that would
Yeah. Yeah.
give
That's our
him
own.
that space. And he says that he's like, I have nobody to talk to about this. So, yeah. So I feel like I was just like, wow, I I think without this process and the support I have, I think I would be very overwhelmed
Mm.
by somebody like this in being like, I can't, I have no answers. I can't help them. But I think CP has helped me being like, oh no, like creating that space is so critical in and of
Hmm.
itself.
Hmm. So remember what you said about when I was reading. Hold on one second.
Yeah.
It was really profound in what you said in your reflection paper. I printed it out actually. My office is so messy right now. There's so many things happening here. I printed it out.
You've got so much going on.
Oh
You have so many
yeah. Mm.
students.
Bear with me. Here we
No,
go.
it's totally fine.
I printed it out. It says in a jail, shanked him tomorrow and he died. And he would welcome it. Oh,
Yeah.
very. Mm,
And I'm like, I understand why you feel this way in that, he was living his life, he became Christian, he felt like things were turning around, and now he might be in prison for life. So
mm,
he doesn't, and he was like, my attorney strategy right now is to try to drag things out. And he's like, well, maybe that's a good strategy, but I feel like I'm dying here in this jail, you know?
mm. No hope.
So,
Whoosh. No hope. So, what's your theological reflection about it? You read him Psalms,
well,
Psalm
I think a
88.
lot of what he's tentative about theologically is because he's newer to the faith, like how God actually relates with him. Like, he's wrestling. He's like going back and forth where he's like, I do believe in God, but what if what I've done is so heinous that, he can't actually forgive me?
Mm,
And we
mm,
talked a bit about, and he had brought up that they were reading about Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane saying he
mm,
didn't want to do this. And I was like,
mm,
so we talked
mm,
about that, and I was like, well,
Mm.
Like, the only reason he'd then do this is because he loves us so much that he'd do what he didn't want to do. So, kind of like, what makes you think that you're the one that isn't covered by this, you know?
Mm.
Um, but I get how you I can understand everything he feels because he's, it's like the brain and heart disconnect where he's like,
That's right. Yeah,
I've
yeah.
heard the good news, I know it, I need it. I think he could even say that. But then he's like, but on one hand, I'm hearing God has forgiven my sins, and then on the other hand, I'm facing life imprisonment.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so it feels like why, like it feels like I'm still being punished, even if God maybe has forgiven me, and he can't reconcile those two.
Mm, mm,
So, as I said, like I think for me, my theological reflection is partly like, wow, like the deepness of the forgiveness that my faith promises has to be so absolute
mm,
that everybody is covered truly, right? Like that
mm.
is a big promise that,
Wow, that's powerful.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, like do you believe, do I believe that? Like, do I, he told me what he did, and I was like, ooh, that is not something that anybody in the world will forgive you for,
Mm,
and that made me
mm.
think like that is where Jesus' promise has to be so
Wow.
much more powerful than anything you've done.
Oh.
Um, but then the flip side is I think about his victim, right? Who I think about God's justice. Where does God's justice come in here? How do we accept God's justice while taking the gift of his forgiveness? Because I think it would not be satisfying for his victim to think about a God that just says, okay, like you're forgiven, there's no consequence.
Mhm.
Um, and like I guess like I can kind of hold those two ideas together, and I know he cannot at this point. But that's what it was just making me think about. Like, I need a God who is 100% merciful beyond my understanding, and I need a God who is righteously just, because if I don't have both, it's not enough.
Profounding.
Yeah.
Yeah, profound. What you reflected is profounding a theological reflection. And you don't have to teach him, but to bring that faith to him.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
what
And
he
I think
needs.
he has to work it out.
Yeah.
Again, it's like I know I cannot give him an answer,
Hmm, hmm.
but um yeah, and I don't know, like if I was in his situation,
Oh, wow.
again, even if my brain could understand what I'm saying now, and it doesn't make the prospect of life in prison any easier to bear,
Oh,
you know.
yeah.
So,
I was, I was, I was thinking about the same question. If I were in the situation, oh my goodness, I don't want to live because
yeah,
I
yeah,
know prison situation. No,
yeah,
so I completely understand and compassion. And I was thinking about, oh my goodness, there's no answer. There's nothing I can do, nothing you can do.
yeah,
But
yeah,
your
yeah,
theological reflection is so powerful. I love it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I wonder if at some point he can think about the victim's perspective. I don't know if he'll get there. Right now it feels very personal to him, like personally attacking him, right?
Hmm, hmm.
So so we'll see.
Maybe.
But yeah, it again, I was just saying like the weekly reflection like helped me articulate some of this, which
Hmm.
is I feel like CPA has created space for me to,
That's
you
good.
know, to slow down and try to like actually work through some of these things.
Yeah. Seriously, think about it. Keep going.
Yeah.
2, 3, 4 BCC in the future.
Slowly, but that's the goal.
Educator. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the
Caroline,
goal
you
to
are
keep.
really good material. We can say that you have a lot of
uh,
potentials.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
Wherever you
Yeah.
go, just keep that in mind.
Yeah, 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 I will. I will, and I'll keep bothering you. You haven't gotten rid of me for sure
Yeah,
after
we
this unit.
think
Yeah,
about, yeah, think about, I can't wait. Anyway,
yeah.
so CP is good to you. How about your family?
Oh, like immediate family right now? Oh,
Yeah.
well, we're doing good. Just I'm grateful for my husband. He's doing I can't cook anything right now. Like
Oh my,
the smells of anything cooking are just so off-putting. So he
my.
has cooked every meal for the last month,
Wow.
and he's watching our kid a lot more. So I'm very grateful to him. Also, I'm very grateful to me because I taught him how to cook when we first started dating. So I'm always like, this is the best gift I ever gave myself was teaching my husband how to cook. Because it's
Good
repaid
job.
me so much. So that's been nice. Um, yeah, and my kid is just he's just funny. He's a funny kid. He has a lot of energy. Yesterday we went to church. He came back. He's like, "Where?" He says, "Where's Jesus?" And I said, "Oh, Jesus is in heaven." And he said, "I want to go." And I'm like, "We want to go where?" He goes, "I want to go to heaven." I'm like, "Okay." He goes, "Tomorrow after nap, we'll go to heaven." I'm like, "Okay, what do you want to do with Jesus?" He's like, "I want to talk to him." I'm like, "Okay."
Oh my. Oh my. Oh
He
my.
says very funny things, and I'm like, "Okay,
Oh wow.
thank you."
He's a philosopher, a little philosopher.
Yeah. Oh, and then like a little negotiator, like just always he's like he's like a mediocre sleeper. I'm really hoping our second baby is a better sleeper than he is, but like he really wants if he has a cold, we usually help him sleep more, and then he negotiates. Like he's like, "Oh, I want mama stay with me. I want mama sleep in the room." And then so I was telling him like I have to go and feed our cat. So I'm gonna go outside. You can go to sleep. He goes, after feed Pippin, you come back and sleep here. And I'm like, no, that's not the way it works. I sleep in my bed. You sleep in your bed. I'll come back and check on you. But yeah, I'm not gonna sleep in here.
He's
So
smart.
yeah, yeah. So you give him a little bit every time, he has a cold and we help him more, we have to then negotiate back. So he's doing
Mm,
good. But yeah, I was just thinking today, like, I'm so grateful
mm,
that we have the ability to let him just play. I think there's so many we're lucky. Like I'm basically working. I mean, it's now full time with CP, and but our schedules are flexible enough that like we don't have any screens at home. And I know that this is like right now it's like you're told not to have screen time, but like I'm like if you are a single parent, if you have multiple kids, if you have two full-time jobs, like
mm,
it's very
mm,
easy to understand why people will use screens to keep their child from like doing something dangerous. I'm just thinking like we're so lucky that we can commit to this.
mm,
And and then he just like runs around on the couch being like, you
mm.
know, and he's just really happy. And I'm like, I'm just glad that we can let him play
Glad
like
to hear
that.
that. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm glad to hear that.
yeah.
Happy for Nathan.
Yeah, but it's
Mm.
like it's a privilege. It's like a privilege that my husband can, if he needs to, work from home or like he can flex his schedule a little bit. So, you know,
Blessings from the
yeah, yeah,
Lord.
these are
Yeah.
blessings. Yeah. So,
Speaking of family, I was reading your brother-in-law in Lebanon.
yes.
What's
No, he is
happening?
not in Lebanon. My sister's husband is Palestinian. His family is from Lebanon.
Oh, his family's in Lebanon.
So his parents are stuck in Lebanon right now because they don't have a visa to go anywhere else. They've left their
Ah,
home because their home was in the south of Lebanon. So I don't know if their home is still standing, but regardless, they can't go back now because all the infrastructure is gone.
ah,
So, um, and they also don't want to leave. Like their kids are all over Europe. They have kids in Germany and kids in the UK. But even if they were able to get a visa, like I understand his dad is like, this is where I live. this is where I've had my life. Like, I don't want to leave it. So
Mm.
he's very reluctant to leave, but they've probably lost their house at this point.
But
So
that's really sad. Yeah, really
that's
sad.
really it's I don't know. It's hard for me to be angry. It's not an emotion that I enjoy having in my body. Like I'm very averse to it, but like in this case, I think I predominantly feel anger.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. Angry and even fear. I don't want to read a newspaper anymore. And I just
Yeah,
stay away from it.
yeah,
Ah,
yeah,
sending prayers to them and
yeah,
also sending thoughts and prayers to you and your family as well.
yeah. Thank you.
Okay, how about your church? Everything good with church, working?
Yeah, yeah, that's been good. Yeah, I have to make a decision at some point. I think this fall after we have baby, I cannot do like I'm doing like four different things right now, and it's like I'm gonna need to make some decisions.
Mm.
So the tricky thing is that my church job is least related to my desire to move into chaplaincy.
Oh, I see.
But
Yeah.
but it pays for school.
Oh, yeah. You,
So
yeah.
so it's hard to let that piece go, even though some part of me is like, I just want to get my degree done, and maybe I should just do that full time for a year, because if I did it full time, I could get it done probably in a year, year and a half.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
so I need to like figure out the finances of can I just do that, just get it done.
Mm.
I know my church will not want me to leave the job.
Mm.
Um, and I don't want to take too long a break from like CPE and doing chaplaincy work because I do like that's important for me to keep doing. But I think I have this tendency to want to hang on to everything, but I know that's impossible. And when I think about my family, I'm like, okay, I need to simplify. I need to like basically pick one thing
Hmm.
while there's a newborn at home. And so I have to make some decisions.
It's coming.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I think I'm just also trying to be patient and be like, okay, CPE will be there, you know. CIC, this jail ministry is not going anywhere. They've been
Yeah.
around for 40 years, you know.
Yeah.
Um, I do want to do a hospital residency at some point, but that
Yeah.
will I can't do that until my kid's two, you know, probably
Yeah.
realistically, unless my husband magically wants to do more parenting, but I think he doesn't at this point.
Oh, but you don't need a residency. At least taking one CP class from hospital in Hinton. You said that Stanford is near you guys, right? Stanford?
Stanford is near us, but Stanford is very regimented because I think they have a lot of applications. So they do have a summer internship, and then it's like, but they don't always have that for it's back this year, but it's very I don't know how reliably they do that every year. And then they
Mm.
have a 3-quarter residency, fall to summer, um, which I've heard is very competitive. So at some point, I will probably try to apply to do at
Yeah.
least one unit with them, but I don't. But um, I need to be in a place where I can leave my kids overnight. Yeah,
How far is it? Stanford is how far?
super close.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if I could get a unit there, it would be super convenient.
Yeah.
The other places that I know have units are obviously San Francisco. That would be far. That'd be a long commute. And then I guess what's her name? Donna that we had in orientation.
Hmm.
She's at Kaiser in Walnut Creek, which is also farther. And they have had like again, like on and off, but not consistent CPE opportunities. So,
Okay.
you know, I think I will probably in I'll be applying in like 2 years, my guess.
Okay. Whatever it comes to you. Stanford is your school too, right?
Yeah,
That's your,
yeah.
you know
Though
what I
I've never
mean?
been on the med school side. You know, it's funny. I used to, when I was at Stanford, I worked at the Stanford Fund where I
Uh-huh.
would call alumni to ask for money,
Mm-hmm.
which is not a fun job. It pays pretty well because nobody wants to do it. Because you're calling strangers and they're gonna reject you, right?
Oh
Um,
my.
it was actually really good training for being a journalist, which I
Oh.
didn't think about at the time. At the time, I was
Oh.
just like, I just need a job.
Okay.
But I stayed there long enough that they graduated me from calling undergrad alum to calling med school alum. The
Mm-hmm.
med school alum do not have any fond feelings about med school
Really?
because that's where they were tortured and not paid much, like residents aren't paid.
Interesting.
Like
Yeah.
the undergrads are like, oh, I had such good time in,
Yeah.
university. I have fond feelings. Like, okay, I'll give you $100. The med school students are like, go away. I already gave like
I don't
so
get
much of
it.
my life to med school. It tortured me. Like, I'm not going to give
Uh,
you money. And I was like, can I go back to calling the undergrad alum? They're nicer.
well, I don't get it. That's a really excellent school. Then they should
I
love
mean,
their
I think
school.
it's a very excellent school and they're grateful to go there, but I think it also like took their life and so they're like, I'm done now.
Okay. That's
So
funny. That's
that's
funny.
funny. Yeah.
Okay,
So
let's
yeah.
explore whatever comes, and I'll
Yeah.
see you. Any questions? Do you have any questions?
Not right now. I think I just appreciate you walking this first unit with me.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a
Yeah.
blessing to me as well.
Oh, I do have a question. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Do you mind me? I was curious, you mentioned leaving your church. Um,
Oh, okay.
in response to Skips, and just to be very candid,
Yeah.
I'm in a reformed PCA church right now, and this issue really bothers me.
Mm.
And also the fact that they won't ordain women.
Oh my. Yeah.
And it's difficult because I don't I sort of fell into this church when I was an undergrad because the campus ministry I went to is somewhat affiliated, and I was like, I don't have a car, I'll go where anybody drives me. Um, and I love the church. Like it is a beautifully gospel centered. The pastors are very humble. I've
Hmm.
talked to them about this, and and my pastor's like, look, like this is how our denomination has chosen to interpret, you know, ordination in women. Here is why. I've read all the arguments. Like he's like a humble guy. He's like, I've read every argument on both sides. I understand why people have different interpretations. This is where we've landed. It's not a first order issue for us, you know. Um, I think this is where what Skip said about implied versus stated. I feel a gap with queer
Yeah.
folks where they would be like, we very much welcome anybody of any sexual denomination. We do not, this is not what we are judging you on, whatever. That's what they would say.
Hmm.
But there is nobody who is openly out at our
Yeah.
church. And I'm
Hmm.
like, okay, like that says everything already to me that people do not feel comfortable being
Hmm.
openly of their sexuality at our church. And it doesn't matter if you say you'd welcome them.
Hmm. Hmm.
The outcome is
Yeah.
clearly
Yeah.
is not welcoming.
Yeah. I see. Yeah.
And that deeply bothers me. And I've told my husband, I'm like, at some point, we might have to leave this church.
Mm.
And I'm not ready to do it yet until I've had enough time to think about it
Hmm.
properly.
Hmm.
But it is something that is like, I know is something I need to like address for myself. So I don't know. I was just curious if you are willing to kind of share with me
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
what your process was.
Yeah. My denomination was Christian Reformed Church. Have you ever heard
Hmm.
about that? Christian Reformed Church. It's a Calvinistic.
Yeah.
small denomination. There's
Mm-hmm.
one Christian from church in Fresno. There are a
Mm.
couple of them in Fresno.
Mm-hmm.
And they asked me sign, Pastor, we need to sign a theological agreement. I'm a Calvinist.
Mm-hmm.
It's stronger than a Presbyterian. It's really hard-headed.
Mm-hmm.
My faith is a living human document. We can't
Yeah.
judge nobody. And they asked me sign for this agreement with LGBTQ. I didn't sign it because if I sign it, that's against my faith. So I decided to leave to sister denomination, which is Reformed Church of America. We believe the
Mm.
same thing, but Reformed Church America, it's a Presbyterian Reformed
Mm-hmm.
circle, but they accept humanness
Mm.
and they accept differences. So I think, oh, this is good. This is matching with my faith and
Mm-hmm.
Calvinistic approach, very strong theological teaching, and I like a liturgical movement and
Yeah.
history. So okay. And my current church is RCA Church.
Mm.
I've been serving this church 5 years already as their pastor.
Mm.
So a lot of reason, okay, now I'll be one part of them. But it was really sad. I
Yeah.
cried. All my
Oh,
friends,
yeah.
my school, my
Yeah.
relationship, and
Yeah.
that's why I was very emotional when I was listening to Skip's. Oh,
Yeah.
he went through a lot. Yeah, he went through a lot.
Yeah. I guess the part that I don't trust is, mm, I don't trust my feelings. And
Oh, what do you
okay, so
mean?
so what I mean is, I think I believe that sometimes our faith calls us to do things that are not what we want. Okay. Like Jesus says, take up your cross and follow me. Like there's going to be suffering as part of life as a believer.
Oh
Okay. And
yeah.
there are things that we are clearly told not to do, which may be more convenient for us to do. So I just recognize that, like, in that way, like, my innate desires, wants may not be God's will. And fortunately,
Mm,
there are parts in the Bible where it's like very, very clear what God is telling us to do. With something like ordination of women, it's
mm-hmm,
like, I want to have the option to be ordinate. You know,
mm-hmm,
it feels unfair. It feels unfair. Like, my mom raised me as a feminist. Like, I would want my kids to grow up believing that men and women can do whatever they want. I also do understand, and I've read the arguments about complementary, and I get, like, it's not like it doesn't make sense. But so then I'm like, people are like, well, you have to decide what feels right to you, or like what your faith is. And I'm like, well, I don't know if what I feel is just what I want because it would be more convenient for me,
I
you
see.
know,
Mm,
or it'd be more convenient for me to have the option of being ordinate.
mm,
And it feels better to me
mm,
to have a society where men and women can both be ordained. But if you told me, like, I feel like this is a gray area in the Bible, just, but if the case was that the Bible was more black and white about it, I would be more able to accept, like, okay, this is not what I want, but this is God's will, and, like, it's for me to conform to God's will.
mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, I don't feel like the Bible is that clear on this issue. So then it feels, but I feel shaky being like, well, I should leave my church because I don't like it, you know? And I think the other thing I think about with queer folks and with women is, I think part of what really bothers me is, like, the fruit that I see coming out of this type of denomination is not love. Like, I think the fruit that comes out of it is a lot of discrimination and
Yeah.
fear and anger,
Mm-hmm,
stories like what Skip has been through. Like,
mm-hmm,
I hear that and I'm like, that is not the fruit of the Spirit.
mm,
That is clear to me. But
mm,
then do you go back and say, the fruit of the Spirit, like, this wrong outcome is because we've interpreted it wrong, or is it because we have carried out the the law the wrong way? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, I
Mm-hmm,
still
hmm.
can't work
Yeah.
back to be like, well, is the answer that God intended marriage to be between a man and a woman,
Hmm.
and our human sinfulness has interpreted this in a way that's led to discrimination and hatred, but that doesn't mean that that in the first place is wrong. It means that we need to execute this differently. Or can I look at this and be like, clearly this outcome is not what God would desire? That would push me to be in a church that is affirming, you know?
Hmm.
I don't know what to do with that.
You have a typical seminary students
Yeah.
struggling. So I'll let you struggle. But can I tell you a story?
Yeah. Tell me a
Okay.
story. I also want all your thoughts.
Yeah. John chapter 4.
Yeah.
Did you already take a Greek class?
I took one Greek class, so
Okay.
I know enough to know that I'm terrible. Yes.
Okay. In the John chapter 4, I think it's verse 4, it started with a day, delta,
Mm,
epsilon, iota.
mm,
That's a language it was necessary. It
mm.
was really struck me that Jesus, when he went to Samaria, he didn't have
Yeah.
to go because they went through different routes.
Right.
But
Right.
Samaria is like a not people to them. But it
Yeah.
starts with it wasn't necessary. Three letters,
Yeah.
delta, iota, and epsilon.
Mm,
That is a divine intervention. Jesus must be there to
mm-hmm.
meet the woman who's coming lunchtime, which is
Mm-hmm.
scorching sunshine. Nobody's coming, ladies
Yeah.
coming
Yeah.
either morning and afternoon, because she was isolated and she had a 5 times marriage, but the person who
Mm-hmm.
lived with her is not her husband, living a horrible life, but she knows theologically. She was arguing with Jesus, Messiah is coming, and
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
is Abraham give this well. At the end of this text, you can read it and maybe reflect on it. She went to the town
Mm,
where she felt rejected, isolated, and she became first missionary in the Bible.
mm.
We don't know her name.
Yeah.
So, woman in the Bible, fascinating.
Yeah.
Woman in ministry, ordained ministry, they are doing great job.
Yeah.
So we human making all kinds of theories, of theologies, or whatever philosophies, and women here, not there, and that's a seminary students struggling. But I want to ask you, listen from your heart. Listen from your heart.
Oh, but that's the part where I told you I don't trust because I'm like, I know what my heart wants.
Trust your heart. I think you know what your heart is saying. You have too much
Yeah.
brain. You have a connection is a little bit, oh, what?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and I'm like, and actually the more I actually face up to it, I think part of it is just that I'm really scared to leave my church because I love it.
You love it.
Yeah.
Then stay
So,
a little bit, yeah, until you finish your study.
yeah,
And
I think I just need to keep working it out. But you know what really, and I think partly what keeps me there is that the lead pastor will wrestle with me on these things. Like
mm,
he's he's so humble, truly, that he is not going to claim he's right. And he will walk me through what he has read, how he has thought. I respect him. So it feels like a safe space to,
good. That's
you know,
good. Yeah.
to do that. And I'm on staff, and he knows that I wrestle with these things, and he doesn't mind. But there's another pastor at our church who I once asked about
Mm.
how he thinks about women in order to, and he said something like, I just haven't spent a lot of time thinking about this. And I was like, dude, this is more than 50% of our church, you know, and it doesn't affect you, but it affects a lot of other people, and
Mm,
like,
mm,
and that's where I was like, I cannot, it bothers me that
mm. Yeah.
Somebody who is a pastor, who is an elder, who is ordained will just be able to say, like, I haven't really thought about this that much, you know. Um, so anyways, this is an ongoing
Yeah.
wrestle for me. Yeah.
Sometimes we grow with the pain,
Yeah.
separation. Listen to
Yeah.
your heart.
Yeah.
Listen.
Yeah. Well, and part of what really pushed me was realizing that in my denomination, I think we wouldn't be able to have a chaplain in the military, a female chaplain for the military, given the
Oh,
military's, because military usually requires ordination.
yeah.
And I think that there are ways within my denomination to get endorsed in like hospital lay positions, but they will not still fully
Hmm.
ordain. And so there's some places where it would be really, really hard to get, or if not impossible, to get a female chaplain. I think, like, I don't think we'd have one in the military. And I'm like, so are you saying that you would rather have no women or men served by a woman, not to have the option of a female chaplain in our denomination, which seems absurd to me, you know? Um,
We need
that you
both
wouldn't,
men and women. Yeah.
and I'm like, that you wouldn't want that to be an option for the folks in the military, you know.
My goodness.
So
Yeah.
that was a piece that really pushed me, and when I discussed that with my pastors, they were like, "Oh, I that doesn't make sense to me either." And I'm like, "Well, then,
Yeah.
this is the denomination. This is the
Yeah.
way we've interpreted things, you know."
Struggle, and one day it will come. One
Yeah,
denomination will just pop up. God will lead you.
yeah, I hope so. That's a prayer. Anyway, sorry, I've taken up a lot of your time. So
Everything good?
yeah, yeah. Thank you for
Okay.
discussing with me.
Thank you for
Yeah,
sharing your story. And
yeah,
anytime you have a question, I don't have answers, but I can share my experience.
and I appreciate that so much.
Okay.
So
I'll see you
yeah,
Thursday.
see you Thursday. Okay, bye. Take care.
Bye.